Hey babies, welcome back to my channel and thank you for stopping in for another video. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscription button below. It's story time. Yes! Today, I decided I would share the story of the worst first date I've ever been on. I mostly date within like the nerd community, so no one's surprised. I attract weirdos. This date in particular was horrific. This was back in 2014. I had just got out of a 5-year-long relationship with the guy that I lost my virginity to. It was the only guy I had ever been with. So this is my first time dating as an adult. So back in 2014, people were mostly using Tinder, Plenty of Fish, and OkCupid, because those were the ones that were readily available. I met this guy in particular on Plenty of Fish, and I learned very quickly why Plenty of Fish is the worst dating site. A majority of the creeps and weirdos that I've met in my life, I met on Plenty of Fish. The thing I like about Tinder is that people don't message you unless you like them first. The same thing with OkCupid. OkCupid, you can message anyone, but I don't have to respond to it if I don't like you. The Plenty of Fish is just pure chaos.
Anarchy style.
Straight up, screw the rules. I'm gonna message whoever the heck I want to message, whatever the heck I want to message them. This person in particular actually messaged me first, which I very much appreciate. Messaging first exudes BDE. I thought he was cute. He mostly dressed in cosplay, so he made a very cute Sasuke. You can destroy my hidden leaf village. He didn't give me any signs that he was a total freaking weirdo while we were messaging each other. No. That's gonna come later. So he asked me out to dinner, and we ended up deciding to go to TGI Fridays. I don't know why. Pretty much the second he walked in, my brain went, oh no, what the hell did you just get yourself into? This man walked into our date wearing a Punisher shirt, which I really appreciated because he knew I liked Marvel, but it had holes in it. Not intentional holes, fashion holes, he wears this shirt all the time holes. Wearing cargo shorts, but they're the cargo shorts that can also be pants. And for some reason, he had one turned into pants and one turned into shorts. And to make matters worse, this boy was wearing the dirtiest Skechers I have ever seen in my life. I was wondering why he didn't smile in any of his pictures. When he showed up, I realized why. This poor guy had completely black gums, and then the top half of his teeth were also black, which I have never seen before. And I am very, very, very particular about dental hygiene. I am anal about my teeth being clean and white. So I got really, really freaked out. I really don't care how shallow that sounds. I have standards, and one of my standards is proper dental hygiene. After the initial shock of the person that I just agreed to go on a date with, we sit down and we get to chatting, and he's a very good conversationalist. I'm okay, this could work out in a way that we were both friends or something. We get our menus and we go to order, and usually if I'm at a place that I'm not super familiar with, like TGI Fridays, I'll order something simple like a salad and soup or something. And it's not even oh my god, I'm watching my figure. It's, I don't know what y'all are good at cooking, and you don't really have to cook a salad, so bring me that. So I just ordered a salad and soup. This guy actually ended up ordering a steak meal. He ordered an appetizer, steak. He wanted to do dessert as well. So I'm okay, my meal ended up being about $13. His meal was at least $30. After we finish eating, the check comes, and he looks across the table to me and he goes, do you mind if we maybe go half on this? And I was like, excuse me? He got a full 3-course meal and he wanted me to go half on it. But at the time I was I don't really care. I can actually afford to go half on it. So I decided, sure, why not? And then I ended up being the only one that left the tip. He walked me to my car and he asked me if we go on another date. And I was like, no, I think we'd be really good friends, but there wasn't a lot of chemistry on my end. And I just think that, maybe if you want to see each other again, that'd be great, but not as romantic interest. And I saw a change in this man like that. And he was like, are you serious? Why waste my time? I drove all the way out here just for you to tell me that we don't have any chemistry. You know, I thought the chemistry was there and yada yada. Like, he was going off on me, like straight up going off on me because I wasn't interested in him the same way that he was interested in me. And he kept asking me, like, what is it about me that you don't like? I'll change it. We can fix it. We can talk about it. We can talk. Mind you, this is our first date. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't owe you an explanation. I'm gonna go. So I got into my car and I drove home. This is where things get really bad. I'm driving home and I lived about 30 minutes away from where we decided to meet up. I finally make it home. And I have a little bit of time in the car to myself. I'm like on my phone texting before I go inside. And I'm getting like my purse and my valuables together to get out of the car. The door handle on the passenger side swings open. And I look over and it's this freaking kid. This guy followed me home. This guy spent 30 minutes of his life to follow me home. And at no point in that 30 minutes of him stalking me, essentially, did he think, maybe this isn't a good freaking idea. So he opens my car door and gets into my car while I'm still in it. He gets into my car while I am still in my car. And I am freaking out. He's on the passenger side. I am in the driver's seat. He locks the door. I'm like, what the hell is going on? He's like, we're not getting out of this car until you tell me exactly what it is about me that you don't like. I deserve to know. Like, you need to tell me because you seem to like me before the date. And he's self-aware. So he's like, is it my teeth? I can't really change the way that my teeth are. I grew up poor. And I'm like, okay, I grew up poor too. And I still was able to brush my teeth properly. I had just started driving for Lyft a few months before. So I had a taser and mace in my car already. And I had this big ass wrench. Like, for no reason, I had this giant fucking wrench that I still have in my car, actually. This huge wrench that I was like, if anything ever happens to me, I'm just gonna pull this thing out and swing on everybody. I move my hand to that little pocket on the door, and that's where my taser is. And I have my hand on my taser, and he's still going off. He's still like, you need to tell me what's wrong with me. I don't understand, like, I deserve to know. And he's like, I don't care, call the police. I'm gonna let them know that you used me tonight. Used you? Used you? For a $13 salad? And then I ended up spending more than that for your meal and my meal, and you didn't tip? Like, how did I use you? The hell? Anyways, he's like, you know, call the police. I'm gonna let them know that, you know, the emotional damage that you've inflicted on me because of this, and like the damage you've done to my self-esteem. Sir, what the hell are you talking about? I get on the phone and I start to call the police, and I'm telling them there's a man who's in my vehicle. He will not get out of my vehicle. I wasn't scared for my life or my safety or anything. I was scared for his safety, if anything. I know how to fight, okay? I grew up in a household where all we did was fight each other. So I know how to swing. I know how to protect myself, and I was more calling the cops to protect his ass because, like I said, I got a big ass wrench, a taser, and mace in my car right now. Like, I will destroy you. And he calls the police as well. So we're both on the phone with the police. He's got a different story saying that, you know, oh, I am threatening him and blah, blah, blah. So the police show up. At this point, I'm out of my car. I'm like, I'm about to go into my house, but I also don't trust this man in my car. So I'm sitting on my porch. Sitting on my porch with my wrench and my taser and my mace. I should say that I don't even like to call the police. But in this situation, I felt like it was necessary. So the police show up. He hops out of the car and he's like, she's got that wrench over there. She threatened my life with it. She threatened to mace me and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we just went on a date. And I just wanted to know why she didn't want to go on a date with me again. And the officer is sitting there, like, actually listening to this fool, like, and writing stuff down. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? So in this whole time, I'm sitting on my porch. Eventually, after this kid gives his report, the officer comes up onto the porch and he's like, ma'am, what's going on? So I pull out my ID and I'm like, sir, I live here. That is my car that he jumped out of. And I tell him, and I was like, yes, sir, I did threaten him with a giant fucking wrench because he is in my car. He is on my property. He is trespassing. He ain't supposed to be here. I fear for my life. One of the officers is down there still talking to this kid, and the other one's up talking to me. He's like, what? Yeah, that's not the story that he's telling us. So I'm like, yeah, dude, this is my house. I live here. I own that car. Like, he's followed me all the way here. The two cops like meet in the middle and they like try to figure out how they're gonna resolve this conflict. And really there's only one way to resolve this conflict, and it's for this kid to fucking leave and never come back. So one of the cops comes back up to me and he's like, how do you want to handle this? he's obviously trespassing. You know, him trapping you into the car can be kidnap. If you would like to press charges, we can go ahead and get the paperwork started for all of that. I just wanted the whole situation to be done and dealt with. So I was like, I don't want to press charges, but I want this kid gone. I don't want him to ever talk to me again. As far as I was told, they filed a report, but they didn't press charges on him. And they pretty much were like, if he comes back around, call them again, and then I could press charges and I could get a restraining order and all this other stuff. So when the police went back and told the kid, like, hey, you need to go or you're going to go to jail. Like, she's opted to not press charges, but she can change her mind at any moment. If you don't get off her property, she is going to press charges and blah, blah, blah. And so he goes and gets to his car, not before calling me a stupid cunt, and drives off. And the police do their policey shit and are like, all right, ma'am, have a good night. A few months later, I was on OkCupid and I came across his profile and I noticed that he had sent me a message. And it was a very long message about how I was a stupid bitch and a stupid cunt and how no one would ever love me and how he hoped I was just like dead in a ditch and like all these like really horrible fucking things. So then I was like, fuck it. Fuck his feelings. He doesn't give a fuck about mine. So I wrote him back this whole thing. How, you know, he had a horrible personality. How he's a fucking stalker. Like, who's going to want to date somebody who just followed them all the way home just because they said they didn't want to go on a second date with them? Like, you are a fucking psychopath. Not even on your best day deserved a second date with me. Like, who the fuck wears their fucking cargo pants like that? You literally showed up on our date looking like a bum and expected me to be totally fine with it. And then you acted like a bum by spending way more money than I did and then asking me to go Dutch on a check even though you invited me out to this date. I feel like if you set the date up, you pay for the date. I do the same thing. If I ask a guy out, I will pay for the date. That's how I feel like it should be. He was like, you're a shallow bitch and blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck how you perceive whatever happened. I really don't. At the end of the day, it's me laying with me in that bed. And if I don't want to have you in my life, I don't need to have you in my life. I don't have to explain myself to nobody. You're not feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, so I don't give a fuck about how you feel. And then I blocked him on everything I could find. I literally reverse image searched his picture and found his Facebook, his Instagram, all that. Blocked him on everything. And I was like, if you ever reach out to me again, if you ever try to contact me again, I'm going to contact the police and I'm going to file a restraining order. Like, that's just how it is because you are a fucking creep. And that's all I have for today. Thank you for stopping in for a video. Be careful out there dating, okay? Especially if you run into a guy called Christopher who likes to cosplaying Christopher. Avoid him. I love you all. See you tomorrow.